All right, so let's actually do what we were supposed to do. 31 band pink noise. I already kind of went off on a tangent already. You guys will see it in the next video. I'll upload them in the correct order and get you guys rolling. Now, the 31 band pink noise tracks, basically what we're looking for is for each track or each tone, actually, each filtered tone, to be the same output level and also the same place on the dash. Everything should be right here. So the way I do it is you can just leave all your speakers playing. Um, if you don't compete or you're not super picky on your sound, that's fine. Just leave all your speakers playing, go through, and I'll show you how to center them up and make them all the same level, volume level. Um, and also, if you do compete or you are super picky on your sound, whatever the case may be, um, I'll show you how to even get a much finer stage. When I went to World Finals last year, one of the things that almost everyone said about my car was the stage was just rock solid. It doesn't move, doesn't waver. Everything's where it should be, and it was just rock solid. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So anyway, let's get into our Helix. And actually, you know what? Before I mute everything, kind of show you guys. It's hard to show you because you're listening on a mono microphone. Um, but kind of show you guys what I'm hearing. I'll be pointing to where I'm hearing the sound and kind of explaining a little bit and how to fix it. So let's start rolling through some pink noise tones and see what we can do. So what you're listening for is changes in the volume between each tone. Like right now, that tone's off to the right. Tone changed and the volume got louder. Don't know if you guys could hear that, but the volume definitely got louder. So I'm going to definitely bring that right side. Again, that one got even louder and even more off to the right over here. So I'm going to definitely be bringing that right side down at the frequencies that they are. It's like 160, 200, 250. Now they're coming back towards the middle. That one's definitely louder. Now that one's off to the left. So when you hear frequencies that go either off to either side, if you think that depending on where your EQ's at right now, what it's doing, again, never try and boost any frequencies. You can see that's my mid bass right there, and I don't have anything boosted. And that has to do with setting your gains and stuff like that. But when you hear a frequency like those ones that were higher and off to the right hand side, I'm definitely going to take those right speakers and lower that frequency on the right hand speaker to try and bring it closer to center. So I'm going to play with that real quick and let you guys kind of see the difference in the volume levels between them, because obviously you guys aren't going to hear center for center because everything's being recorded mono. Hold on. All right, so here's a good example. 200 hertz right now. It's way off to the right. So I took my right mid speaker, and because that's where it kind of sounded like it was coming from, and dropped it down all the way -8 decibels, and really didn't change a whole lot. So this is EQing all the speakers together, and this is another reason why it's kind of not a waste of time, but just not accurate enough for me. So what I'm going to do is go over here and mute everything but the mid bass. Now, so I only have the mid bass playing, and when I go through frequencies, I'm not just going to go through There's my, see if you guys can see it. So technically it's being crossed at 76 hertz and 160, but if you look at here, this is the mid bass. It's playing all the way from basically 50 to 400. So definitely out of the passband, and that's going to be with pretty much all the speakers. They're going to be like that, especially in a vehicle, again, because everything's getting boosted because you're in such a small reflective environment. Like I think the tweeters are crossed over like 5K, and they're playing down toward like 3. So really watch for that. So what I'm going to go and do, when I do tuning for left and right and volume and that kind of stuff by ear, I'm going to get back into the Helix. And now I noticed a lot of the ones that were on the right were louder, and they were farther off to the right. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the right speaker, front right low, and go up here, go back to 100 hertz, and take this little guy, put it on 100 hertz, and that way every time the tone changes, all you have to do is do one click over, one click over, one click over. So as long as you know you're adjusting the right ones, so you can't really adjust the left doing this, but it's the fastest way that I've found. And that way every time the tone changes, you can just scroll right and say, oh man, 160, that's way far off to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, bam, down 2 decibels. And kind of listen for, for it to change. With them being 1 second increments, 6 second increments, it's going to go pretty quick. But don't be afraid to roll through these multiple times and make sure. So anyway, we're going to start at, actually, what am I thinking? Not 100 hertz. We're going to start down at 50 because that's where the mid bass is technically playing down to, even though the crossover says 76 hertz at 24 decibels. There you go. We can get a little better picture for you guys. So even on Linkwitz, which is rolls off even quicker. So that's definitely one thing that Rue helps out with. And seeing where speakers are actually playing, and I'll roll through. I may roll these up to 1,000 hertz, maybe 2,000 hertz, just to make sure until I can stop hearing it is how far I go. So this says technically it stops to 500 hertz. No, it doesn't. It's just at a much lower level. But as long as I can hear the frequencies, I'm going to try and get them centered up, and also make sure there's no crazy jumps in frequencies like you'll see. Is it on this graph? Yeah, like check this out. So here's the mid rolling off, and tweeter's already coming in. But look at this. Look at that. Out of the passband. 3K to 4K is definitely a problem area in most cars. So anyway, I'll roll through, see if I can do this for you guys real quick. All right, so 50 hertz. Off to the left. So I'm going to take my 50 hertz down on the left. We're at 125, nice and centered. .160 off to the right. 200. 200 off to the right, getting louder. 220, 250, definitely louder and off to the right. 315. Oh, see how low 400 is? So we may need to boost the 400 area. Oh wait, out of passband. Of course it's gonna get. 500 off to the left. $1.2K off to the right. Going to take the right down. I don't know if you guys can hear that anymore. We're at 1.6, 2K, 2.5K. Still playing. 3K. We're at now 4K. 5K, I'm still hearing it. A little bit. 6.3K. It's almost not there. So I'm going to go ahead and roll through these again and again and again and again until I'm sick and tired of hearing them. And making sure that each one is centered up for the speakers playing, and go through each speaker playing, or sorry, each set of speakers playing, get those done. And then after you do each set, getting them to where they sound like they're at the same output volume and centered up on the dash. We talked about where to do that. Then go through and with all the speakers playing, because again, they're going to interfere with each other. Do all the speakers playing and roll through it again and again and again and again to readjust those levels. Now, once you do, like if you're using the Helix, once you do get each pair of speakers to where they're centered up and same output volume and everything, so the mid-bass to mid-range, everything in that 150 to 400, 500 hertz area, they're going to be interfering with each other. Again, that's either constructive or destructive. Constructive, destructive. So you're going to have to play with, when you start playing both of them together, how they affect each other. And but you can go back in here and link the left and right side again, because you already know that that set of speakers is playing what it should be, that they're centered up with each other. And then, so that way when you go in, say 315 hertz was too high, I can start lowering the mid bass to see if that does it. If that doesn't fix the 315 hertz area, it means it's coming from the dash speakers. So I'll raise up the mid bass back to what it was, or 315, whatever we're talking about here. Raise that back up to what it was, and then go to the dash speakers and start lowering those and see if that helps. You may have to lower both of them. Now, as you can see, don't be afraid of what your EQ looks like. Like right here, 115 hertz or 125 on here is freaking buried. I mean, not quite, but it's what? Negative 10.5 decibels on the right, and the left is negative 4.5. Don't be afraid of that. That's not a bad thing. It's just the acoustics in the vehicle and how the sound travels, getting from that speaker to your ear and from this speaker to your ear. Obviously, this is a lot more, your legs are down here, all that kind of stuff. There's pedals down there. It's way more off axis. This is, almost 90 degrees off axis, where this is like 30 degrees off axis. So which shouldn't matter a whole lot for the lower frequencies, but when you start taking into account the speakers behind the panel and everything that's going on in the vehicle, it's just not the same, and it's not going to be. So anyway, roll through each pair of speakers and get that done. Turn on all the speakers, and if you can link the left and right sides, go for it. Like the 360, it will overwrite your left and right settings. So don't do that. If it says it's going to overwrite anything, don't do that. You're basically going to take all your work from your left and right speakers, and it's going to be trashed. So don't do that. But anyway, once you get all of your speakers playing at the same time, and then they're all at the same output volume to your ears, because again, I don't have it saved here, but when I took a reading last night after I did some videos, it was almost textbook. It really was. But like you guys just heard on the filtered pink noise, to your ears, that's not how it works. So this is where I kind of start going away from Rue and start trusting your ears. I know it's kind of scary, but do it. Do it. And you'll be much more rewarded in the end. You really will. So after you get everything playing together, and you're happy with all the output volume levels, and you're happy with everything being centered up, again, go through the mid bass from bottom to top, and center up all the frequencies, no matter how far out of the passband it is. If you can hear it, center it. Same thing with the mid-range, the tweeters, do everything from bottom to top, as far as you can, and get everything centered up. Once you do that, you kind of have to go. I mean, we did it. We did all of our list. Congratulations to you guys for sticking with it. And like I said, you'll be much rewarded in the end. But once you get back to the end, you're not done. You can go through and start changing any of the stuff back here and kind of play with it and see what it does. Right now, the left side of your stage might be here, and if you change your mid crossover slope, okay, it might bring your stage out to here. Or if your stage is out here and you change some slope or something, it might come in here. It's just one of those things you kind of have to play with, listen to it, and see what it does. And you'll be amazed at what just a minor difference, like changing a crossover slope, can make from the right side of your stage going from here out to here. So like I said, just play with it and see what happens. Now, if you go changing your crossover slope, you're going to have to go back through your EQ and start doing all that over again. I shouldn't say start over, but go through and refine it, especially in that area that you changed. So go ahead, do it. Good luck, guys. Thumbs up on the video. I'd appreciate it. It helps me out and helps other people find the videos. Subscribe and get future updates. Like I said, this is probably the end of the tuning series, but that's not going to be the end of the videos that I do. Like I said, I think I'm going to start doing videos on, I know, need to shave. Get over it. Start doing videos on sound and acoustic theory and whatever you guys want. If you guys have any suggestions, something you want to hear about, something that's not quite clear to you, something you want, explained a little better, put it up at the comment section. Send me a PM, Facebook, Dyma, doesn't matter. Facebook's probably the easiest way, or on the video itself. I get an email every time you guys post something up on the email. As far as comments goes, I get an email. or you post a comment up on the video, I get an email. Don't know if I said that right. So anyway, let's go ahead and do that, and I will try and take care of you guys and try and take what I've learned and my experience and stuff I've learned and kind of pass it on to you guys. Obviously, I wish somebody had, made videos, when I'm learning, and I'm always still learning. Definitely don't know everything. This may be the best screwed up, the most screwed up way to tune a car. I don't know, but it works for me. I like it, and it seemed to have worked for me in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. I guess I'll talk about tuning with music in a later video. Maybe I'll do that one next. Yeah, so let me know what you guys want to hear about, what you guys are interested in. See if I can help clear some things up. If I don't know the answer, I'll find the answer. Got a lot of good resources and whatnot, so just let me know what you guys want, and I will try and make it happen. Deuces.